And the guys are just doing individual only right now, waiting to be safe before we allow them in team stuff, is Hurd, Bosa, Ford, and Kinlaw. Go ahead.
I know the guys you mentioned going on COVID, does that have a positive impact in the weeks ahead as far as counting toward the vaccinated players you have on your team?
What do you mean by positive impact?
Do they count as vaccinated in the future?
I'm not sure of that question. I mean, not the question. I'm not sure of the answer. We got almost everybody on our team vaccinated. There's a few guys who aren't. I can't ever get into who is and who isn't. But the protocols are different for all three of those guys. So, but I think it'll be easier than it was last year.
Are you taking things slowly with Kinlaw because of the knee stuff that he had early in the offseason?
Yeah, all the knee stuff, just the stuff he went through in the offseason, making sure the swelling's out, and took it easy on him here the last couple of weeks with his rehab. So just trying to get him back into shape so he doesn't go out there and re-swell it or anything like that.
Did Jalen Hurd have any kind of setback during individual?
No, he was good. Was able to do individual. Did some. Did everything up to team drill. So I was excited to see him out there today. It's been a little bit.
So both Jimmy and Trey had multiple very impressive throws. You felt like if that's, I know it's not open competition at the moment, it seemed like a pretty good start for both those guys in there. Ready for this.
Yeah, I think, I was impressed with both of them in OTAs, and, I've only been around them one practice now, but they seemed sharp today and was good. Our cadence wasn't great with the second and third group, just coming off the ball and stuff with some new guys, but besides that, I thought it was a good crisp practice for the first day.
Was the cadence the issue with that one mix up early on in full team drills?
Yes, yeah, there was a few of them today, but there was one exceptionally bad. It looked like 11 guys came off on a different cadence. So.
Otherwise, what do you think of Trey overall? And he had the big throw to Debo in sevens, and then the jump ball to Kittle Riggs. What do you think?
It was nice. I mean, it was the right spot to go with the ball both times. Debo went by his guy, and he made a perfect throw in stride. And then the one to Kittle was pretty good coverage, but he gave him an opportunity ball, and Kittle went up and made a play. So I was impressed with both the eligibles and the quarterback on it.
Light reps the first couple days and then.
Yeah, I mean, there is a technical NFL ramp up, which just means it's 5 days with OTA rules and stuff, except we're allowed to do one-on-ones, but no pads and anything like that. But the way we do it is, it's a low day today. We'll do a little bit more tomorrow. We'll back it off the next day, and we'll do that over a 4-day span. Then we'll get a day off. We'll do our 5th practice, which is the last day of ramp up, and then practice 6 will be pads.
Bosa and Ford back on the field?
A little bit. I looked a couple times.
Did you get a chance to see Nick? He looks like he's pretty healthy and all full go.
Yeah, Nick takes care of himself and better than anyone I've ever been around. The guy has got a one-track mind, and it's awesome. So you knew he'd come in great, and now it's just about, you got to know how much time it's been since the injury. It's him moving and looking like the player he isn't an issue. It's just about building it up the right way, so when he gets out there with 22 people, he can react and feel safe if he gets caught in an awkward position. So we'll take our time with that and be smart.
Does he look any different than how much more mature and ready does he look going into year 2 now?
It was day 1, so I'll have a good idea probably after 3 days. But I was impressed with him today. I know he came into OTAs feeling pretty ready, had a little bit of a setback in OTAs with, I think it was some groin tightness. And I know what he did his 40 days away. I feel like that helped him. He thought he was ready, which he seemed close to it, had a little bit of setback. And just talking to him and seeing him out there, he's done everything he can to improve off that. And I feel he's in a better spot, but time will tell.
Those 40 days away, do players voluntarily I know you've got a lot of video from Nick, but it seems like obviously you're aware of what everybody's doing. Do they just voluntarily tell you, show you?
Some guys, every person's different, and I'm different with each person. I think so is each coach. The whole goal is to get the best out of everybody. Some guys you got to keep your thumb on a little bit, and some guys need a break from you a lot. Most of our D-line needs a break from Chris Eric. A few guys need a break from me. And so sometimes you give those guys a break, and it's a lot easier to coach them when they come back. Some guys need you to stay in contact a lot, and each one's different, but it's all the same goal.
I know he wasn't in the team or maybe some others, but Dee Ford certainly was the first time we've seen him in a while. Is it hard to resist? And he looks pretty good right now, and moving him forward a little faster.
No, I've just been with him, and I've seen the history, and we got to be smart with it. It's been a tough situation for him and us, just going through it, and the sensitivity of his injury. So I try to never get too high or too low with it. I mean, if Dee Ford's healthy and can play, we all know how much he's going to help us and how much he did when he was healthy in 2019. But I keep my fingers crossed, but I sit there and I'm not going to hope or wish. We're going to go about our business, and if things work out for him, it's going to be a hell of a deal for him, and it's a hell of a deal for the Niners.
Ford yesterday said that the defensive line's giving him 2019 vibes. I know you don't always want to look back, but have there been moments, whether in the OTAs, I know there not many of them, first line guys were out there today, but were you felt the same? Were you seeing something, feel something like that?
Yeah, I've felt the same about our D-line since really 2018 ended. I thought we had a chance going into 2019 to have a special D-line. I thought we had a chance going into 2020 to have a special D-line, and I feel exact same this year. So it's 3 years in a row that I feel we're in a very good position. Now, that just gives you a chance going into it. You guys saw what we did with that chance in 19, and you guys saw what happened in 20. So, but I don't feel there's much difference. We got the talent out there, and especially at that position, and it's the work we put in, how we tie everyone together, how healthy we can stay, and how good we respond to some adversity.
Where's Sanu now compared to maybe when you had him for that little bit last year, just being further away?
I think he's in such a better spot. I knew Sanu so well from my year with him in Atlanta. We studied him hard when that trade went down, and we were looking into him and Emmanuel, and New England ended up getting Sanu, and he was at the top of his game then, and he had such a bad high ankle sprain that last year in New England, then went into COVID. And, we didn't get him till I want to say week 1, and he just wasn't quite the same yet. And I think that happened with a lot of guys who didn't get to do the same stuff in COVID. When guys don't get to go through an off-season OTAs and off-season training camp, they don't know why, but there's just something missing. And Sanu told us he's good to go, and we believed him, and we got him here in OTAs, and we could see it. I think you ask our players and anybody who's watched him, he looks like the guy I remember, and not the guy that we had for those week and a half or whatever it was, and looked great today too. So hopefully we can keep it up and keep it going.
Kyle, the rookies were a little disappointed, or Debo and Brandon were a little disappointed last year when he did get cut. Do you sense that they're feeding off his energy now that he's back?
Yeah, I mean, each guy's different, so you have to ask them more than that, than me, but I think it's when you have a guy in there who's done it and done it in a few places and who does it the right way, those are guys that guys respect. It's always good to have someone they can go to ask questions, guys that, you don't want the coaches always pushing people. Eventually, you push your son so much that they stop listening. You got to get the neighbor's dad to go coach them, and they'll listen to them. So that's what you like with some veteran players that they respect, but they don't respect them. That can backfire on you too.
Kyle, I know it was just one practice, but you said yesterday Garoppolo was obviously impressive in the spring. That was OTAs. We'll see about training camp. Was that the same kind of OTA Garoppolo or something better?
I mean, it was one practice, but it was a hell of a practice. He's doing a great job. Yeah, we'll just crown everybody today before I've watched the tape and after 5 reps. But no, usually when you have an OTAs like that, you don't go celebrate for the 40 days away. You know how good it feels in OTAs, and you build off that in a training camp. So I would have been very surprised if he took a step back, and we didn't see that at all today.
You did say that Trey looked good, but then he's going to be away for 40 days, and let's see what he is when he comes back.
Yeah.
Is it all absorbed? Did you see that from him?
I saw a guy who didn't stop working, and we definitely check up on him a lot. So I know Trey working isn't. That's not the issue. He's going to work and do everything. And now you do it away from us, so you want to see what type of work he's doing and everything, and you get films and stuff like that. But we'll see that over the course of these next 7 practices. We got him through 7 practices and OTAs where you go through a 7-day install, and we'll do the same install for these 7 practices. And I like to get those 7 over because then you get it all out of the way, and you can start kind of forming your team and the direction of where you guys are going based off of how they've looked off those 7 practices.
You noticed the fans at all? What was it like just having them back for training camp?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, just driving in today and having a couple fans out there that I'm used to dabbing up before I go in, and they were nervous to dab me up. I wasn't nervous, so I'm vaccinated, so I felt all right with it. Hope that didn't get me in trouble. But it was a really cool feeling coming in. I mean, it's different not having fans out there, and I know our guys were pumped. I heard them buzzing about it this morning. We usually do a rookie hype machine, and I feel like I didn't see it out there today, so I was kind of disappointed with that. I'll get that corrected later today. But it was definitely different, and so pumped to see it in the stadium.
You mentioned the cadence issue with Trey early on, and then later it seemed like he drew some guys off sides and had a free play. Is that an example of sort of the things you see from him from the mental aspects in his early development? Like, how's he doing in that regard?
It's still too early. I mean, the D-line probably hadn't heard us going 2 yet, and they've been teeing off. So, but I mean, he had pretty good command of that watching him in college. I mean, he played the position like he's been doing it for a while, even though he didn't a ton in college. But that's one of the things we were impressed with him a lot. And I just think he didn't get a ton of reps in OTAs because it wasn't as much as we usually do. But we just got to give that guy the time and let him keep working and work his way through some stuff. And I think we're going to all be pretty excited.
Have you been able to get a gauge on how Aaron Banks has come into camp, and what would the timeline for him be to work with the first team?
And it's the timeline as everyone else. As soon as we think he's better than the guys in front of him, and being where we drafted him and stuff, we obviously think he has a chance to be. We think he's a pretty talented player, but just watching it live, he does some good things, and he got a lot of rookie things too. I don't think he's focused right now in his first day of practice about getting a starting job. He needs to be focused on just doing as good as he can. He didn't get all the reps in camp, and today was probably the most he's gotten, and we'll just keep stacking them up. And I'm sure a couple days he'll take a couple steps back, but as long as he's taking more steps forward, we'll be all right.
To clarify on Kinlaw, he had surgery, I think in January. It was characterized by the team as very minor. Is he out right now? Just still because of that surgery?
No, I actually, and I'll paraphrase, if that's the right word, because I'm not sure the exact details of it, but he had traveling and stuff like a month ago or something, just swelled up a little bit, so that I don't know whether they drained it or not. I'll get it exactly for you guys tomorrow, but just a minor thing, and so he had to stay off of it for a little bit after they did that, and we don't want to throw him right back out there because he stayed off of it for a couple weeks going into camp. And I feel good, I feel he's healthy, but a guy who stayed off his leg for a couple weeks, you don't just throw out there right away.
Coach, what's the biggest advantage that Trey has learning from Jimmy? He's obviously been in the offense for a long time. How do you expect that relationship to work, and just passing on knowledge along of a playbook that's very complex?
Yeah, I mean, a playbook's just about memorizing the drawings and what's on there and what you call stuff. So that's putting the time in, and some people it's a little harder for than others, but you put the time in, everyone gets it. It's about the experience and feeling the live reps. And Jimmy's gone through it a number of times, and he's done it at a high level. So that's to me where the help comes. I mean, when I can teach him, tell him stuff, but you get away and a guy tells him kind of how it feels, or he sees him going through it, oh yeah, I used to struggle with that too. Eventually it's this, so just be patient. And those are the same things people like Sanu can help out with Ayuk and stuff like that. And, Jimmy's made for that. I mean, his personality and stuff, he's not, he's one of the guys in there, and whether it's with Trey or anyone else, so it's been a good dynamic so far.
Tim Harris was out there with the first team group. A little surprising to us because we haven't seen a lot of him over the years. Is he coming off a good spring? I mean, where is he in this mix of?
He did have a real good spring, and that's why those guys put him out there today. It's want to look a lot into it. Mosley wasn't there today, and we're not making a big decision right now, but that's how it looked in OTAs, and that was a credit to Tim because he looked as good as he has in OTAs, and I don't know yet after today. I'll watch the tape, but hopefully you can keep that going throughout camp.
Tell you some more.
What do you think from your running back group? Trey Sermon seems to be taking a lot of reps with the ones.
Sorry, was that before?
Running back group, Trey Sermon's taking quite a few reps with the ones.
Yeah, I'll notice how many he took when I get in. I mean, I know we were trying to be lighter on Raheem. I think that was a big part of it. Whether Trey got it today, I think that all that stuff will start evening out. I mean, we got a pretty good group of backs in terms of, everyone on the roster's got a chance to make this team. We know what Raheem's done for us. We know what Jeff's done, and we got to find out about these other guys.
What do you put in pads, Kyle?
It's the 5th practice, so 3 more days plus an off day plus the 5th. It's this, yeah, thank you guys. Every day is Monday to me, so I should have just said that. You guys good?
Rosen got 1 11 on 11 throw today. I know that'll change
Yeah.
from day to day, but Is that going to be difficult for you to make that decision?
Oh, it's always difficult. I mean, that's the tough thing about the NFL. I mean, it's, that's why we all say we wish we had a minor league or something, because it's just tough to give the threes a ton of reps. I think our threes got 2 reps in each period, and he's rotating with Nate on who gets those 3 reps, so it's just limited. I think I want to blame Rich for getting off track one, so he missed one of those. I think Trey stole an extra handoff, but Josh got him for that last throw.
Do you rotate who throws an individual, who throws to the receivers, and the one quarterback who throws to the backs?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not on top of that, but they rotate that every day. Yeah, we got to get everybody with everyone. All right, guys. Thanks.